That's weird. Rumble has a thing that says pop in chat instead of pop out chat. I don't know what they're thinking there. Alright, I might go wide angle on this one just because it looks like I could get more in the shot that way. Alright, looking good. I think we're ready. Okay, this will be my last Bible reading of the day. Gotta hurry up, otherwise the sun's gonna go down. I don't think I'm gonna get my chair out because there's a nice rock to sit on. This is one of my favorite spots. It's even more epic when there's like more water and stuff, but it's still pretty awesome. Alright, just have to figure out what we're reading. Oh, this is the best. That's amazing. It's ridiculous. Glad I got up here before dark. It was, I just like drove as fast as I could and climbed this thing. Been here before though, so I didn't really have to do any guessing on where to go. All right. Really happy I could do 3 readings today too, because I was kind of hoping to read all day long, you know, as early as I could get out, but I got kind of a late start, so I wasn't sure how much I'd be able to do. Okay, don't want any phones to slide off this rock. It's a massive, like, ski slope or slide. So if they started moving, they would go really fast. Very bad news. Okay. All right, so today, this last reading, we're going to do Genesis chapters 32 to 34 and Matthew 7. So it doesn't seem like too long of a reading, but never know until I see how long the chapters are. Dear Father, thank you for this one last time to get out in nature and find a beautiful place to read your word and share it with others. Pray that the right people would see this later or watch it now and be blessed by your word and by this beauty. And help me to read clearly and understand what I'm reading and store it up in my heart. And thank you for all these things. In Jesus' name, amen. Alright, as usual, I will check chat in between chapters if anybody shows up. Genesis chapter 32. Jacob also went on his way, and the angels of God met him. When Jacob saw them, he said, "This is the camp of God." So he named that place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. He instructed them, "You are to say to my master Esau, 'Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and have remained there until now. I have oxen, donkeys, flocks, men servants and maidservants. I have sent this message to inform my master, so that I may find favor in your sight.'" When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, "We went to your brother Esau, and now he is coming to meet you, he and 400 men with him." In great fear and distress, Jacob divided his people into 2 camps, as well as the flocks and herds and camels. He thought, if Esau comes and attacks one camp, then the other camp can escape. Then Jacob declared, "O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, the Lord who told me, 'Go back to your country and to your kindred, and I will make you prosper.' I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. Indeed, with only my staff, I came across the Jordan, but now I have become 2 camps. Please deliver me from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid that he may come and attack me and the mothers and children with me. But you have said, 'I will surely make you prosper, and I will make your offspring like the sand of the sea, too numerous to count.'" Jacob spent the night there, and from what he had brought with him, he selected a gift for his brother Esau: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 20 ewes, 20 rams, 30 milk camels with their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. He entrusted them to his servants in separate herds and told them, "Go on ahead of me and keep some distance between the herds." He instructed the one in the lead, "When my brother Esau meets you and asks, 'To whom do you belong? Where are you going? And whose animals are these before you?' Then you are to say, 'They belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and behold, Jacob is behind us.'" He also instructed the second, the third, and all those following behind the herds, "When you meet Esau, you are to say the same thing to him. You are also to say, 'Look, your servant Jacob is right behind us.'" For he thought, "I will appease Esau with the gift that is going before me. After that I can face him, and perhaps he will accept me." So Jacob's gifts went on before him while he spent the night in the camp. During the night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 maidservants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream along with all his possessions. So Jacob was left all alone, and there a man wrestled with him until daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower Jacob, he struck the socket of Jacob's hip and dislocated it as they wrestled. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." "What is your name?" the man asked. "Jacob," he replied. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with men, and you have prevailed." And Jacob requested, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed Jacob there. So Jacob named the place Peniel, saying, "Indeed, I have seen God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him as he passed by Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon which is at the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was struck near that tendon. Genesis chapter 33. Now Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming toward him with 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the 2 maidservants. He put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph at the rear. But Jacob himself went on ahead and bowed to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. Esau, however, ran to him and embraced him, threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they both wept. When Esau looked up and saw the women and children, he asked, "Who are these with you?" Jacob answered, "These are the children God has graciously given your servant." Then the maidservants and their children approached and bowed down. Leah and her children also approached and bowed down, and then Joseph and Rachel approached and bowed down. "What do you mean by sending this whole company to meet me?" asked Esau. "To find favor in your sight, my lord," Jacob answered. "I already have plenty, my brother," Esau replied. "Keep what belongs to you." But Jacob insisted. "No, please, if I have found favor in your sight, then receive this gift from my hand. For indeed I have seen your face, and it is like seeing the face of God, since you have received me favorably. Please accept my gift that was brought to you, because God has been gracious to me, and I have all I need." So Jacob pressed him until he accepted. But Jacob replied, "My Lord knows that the children are frail, and I must..." Wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to start this chapter over. I totally messed that up. I heard something. It was probably just a chipmunk, but something down there, and then I accidentally skipped part of that verse. Genesis chapter 33. Now Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming toward him with 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the 2 maidservants. He put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph at the rear. But Jacob himself went on ahead and bowed to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. Esau, however, ran to him and embraced him, threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they both wept. When Esau looked up and saw the women and children, he asked, "Who are these with you?" Jacob answered, "These are the children God has graciously given your servant." Then the maidservants and their children approached and bowed down. Leah and her children also approached and bowed down, and then Joseph and Rachel approached and bowed down. "What do you mean by sending this whole company to meet me?" asked Esau. "To find favor in your sight, my lord," Jacob answered. "I already have plenty, my brother," Esau replied. "Keep what belongs to you." But Jacob insisted. "No, please, if I have found favor in your sight, then receive this gift from my hand. For indeed I have seen your face, and it is like seeing the face of God, since you have received me favorably. Please accept my gift that was brought to you, because God has been gracious to me, and I have all I need." So Jacob pressed him until he accepted. Then Esau said, "Let us be on our way, and I will go ahead of you." But Jacob replied, "My Lord knows that the children are frail, and I must care for sheep and cattle that are nursing their young. If they are driven hard for even a day, all the animals will die. Please let my Lord go ahead of his servant. I will continue on slowly at a comfortable pace for the livestock and children, until I come to my Lord at Seir." "Let me leave some of my people with you," Esau said. But Jacob replied, "Why do that? Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord." So that day Esau started on his way back to Seir, but Jacob went on to Succoth, where he built a house for himself and shelters for his livestock. That is why the place was called Succoth. After Jacob had come from Padan Aram, he arrived safely at the city of Shechem in the land of Canaan, and he camped just outside the city. And the plot of ground where he pitched his tent he purchased from the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of silver. There he set up an altar and called it El Elohe Israel. Seems like the sun is taking its time, so I guess we'll make it before sunset at this point. It's nice. Genesis chapter 34. Now Dinah, the daughter Leah had borne to Jacob, went out to visit the daughters of the land. When Shechem son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the region, saw her, he took her and laid with her by force. And his soul was drawn to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. He loved the young girl and spoke to her tenderly. So Shechem told his father Hamor, "Get me this girl as a wife." Jacob heard that Shechem had defiled his daughter Dinah, but since his sons were with his livestock in the field, he remained silent about it until they returned. Meanwhile, Shechem's father Hamor came to speak with Jacob. When Jacob's sons heard what had happened, they returned from the field. They were filled with grief and fury because Shechem had committed an outrage in Israel by lying with Jacob's daughter, a thing that should not be done. But Hamor said to them, "My son Shechem longs for your daughter. Please give her to him as his wife. Intermarry with us, give us your daughters, and take our daughters for yourselves. You may settle among us, and the land will be open to you. Live here, move about freely, and acquire your own property." Then Shechem said to Dinah's father and brothers, "Grant me this favor, and I will give you whatever you ask. Demand a high dowry and an expensive gift, and I will give you whatever you ask. Only give me the girl as my wife." But because Shechem had defiled their sister Dinah, Jacob's sons answered him and his father Hamor deceitfully. "We cannot do such a thing," they said. "To give our sister to an uncircumcised man would be a disgrace to us. We will consent to this on one condition, that you become circumcised like us, every one of your males. Then we will give you our daughters and take your daughters for ourselves. We will dwell among you and become one people. But if you will not agree to be circumcised, then we will take our sister and go." Their offer seemed good to Hamor and his son Shechem. The young man, who was the most respected of all his father's household, did not hesitate to fulfill this request, because he was delighted with Jacob's daughter. So Hamor and his son Shechem went to the gate of their city and addressed the men of their city. "These men are at peace with us. Let them live and trade in our land. Indeed, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters in marriage and give our daughters to them. But only on this condition will the men agree to dwell with us and be one people, if all our men are circumcised as they are. Will not their livestock, their possessions, and all their animals become ours? Only let us consent to them, and they will dwell among us." All the men who went out of the city gate listened to Hamor and his son Shechem, and every male of the city was circumcised. 3 days later, while they were still in pain, 2 of Jacob's sons, Dinah's brothers, Simeon and Levi, took their swords, went into the unsuspecting city, and slaughtered every male. They killed Hamor and his son Shechem with their swords, took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went away. Jacob's other sons came upon the slaughter and looted the city, because their sister had been defiled. They took their flocks and herds and donkeys and everything else in the city or in the field. They carried off all their possessions and women and children, and they plundered everything in their houses. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have brought trouble upon me by making me a stench to the Canaanites and Perizzites, the people of this land. We are few in number. If they unite against me and attack me, I and my household will be destroyed." But they replied, "Should he have treated our sister like a prostitute?" Alright, got one more chapter to go. Matthew chapter 7. I'll probably stay here for the sunset too, because it won't be super long and looks like it might look nice. I can't stay too long after that though, or it'll get dark and I won't be able to see well on my way down. I always have a light with me though, so it's not really a huge deal. Matthew chapter 7. Do not judge, or you will be judged. For with the same judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the same measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but fail to notice the beam in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, "Let me take the speck out of your eye," while there is still a beam in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the beam out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do not give dogs what is holy. Do not throw your pearls before swine. If you do, they may trample them under their feet, and then turn and tear you to pieces. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. He who seeks finds, and to him who knocks the door will be opened. Which of you, if his son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? So if you who are evil know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? In everything, then, do to others as you would have them do to you. For this is the essence of the law and the prophets. Enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the way that leads to life, and only a few find it. Beware of false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. So then, by their fruit you will recognize them. Not everyone who says to me, "Lord, Lord," will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, "Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons and perform many miracles?" Then I will tell them plainly, "I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness." Therefore everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain fell, the torrents raged, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because its foundation was on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not act on them is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain fell, the torrents raged, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell, and great was its collapse. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were astonished at his teaching, because he taught as one who had authority and not as their scribes. Grab a drink before I'll probably just sit here and watch the sunset for a while. Ugh. Never really tried this second microphone. I may as well give it a shot while I'm up here. I have time to get my... Okay, good. I just want to make sure that the microphones didn't like have a conflict or something. Appears they're fine. This one doesn't have a magnet though, so I'll have to just clip it on somewhere. Hey Flo here. I just had a nice afternoon doing about 3 Bible readings out in nature, 4 including one that I had to fix from last time. Anyway, I'm out here enjoying the sunset on this awesome view place. I'll show you it here in just a second. This is one of my favorite spots to hang out. I've never been up here for the sunset though. Should be pretty nice. I'm not actually sure how to do the settings on this microphone. It doesn't have a LCD screen like the other one. That looks pretty cool, but what'd be cool is if I brought my Sony a6000 with a telephoto lens. I basically never bring that with me though. So. Pretty rare where I actually want to have my bigger camera with me, but every once in a while. there it is. The sun is set. Haven't been recording shorts very much for my YouTube channel and TikTok. Just, I don't know, I was realizing I don't really know what to take videos of. I mean, when I'm in a cool place, I usually take a short video, but it feels kind of weird sometimes because there's not really anything to say about it. I'm just like showing what it looks like. It's kind of weird, but I still do it occasionally. I just probably won't do it quite as much as before, even though I think it is kind of worth the time. Oh man, the colors on this phone are so much better. I wish... It's stupid because this is just a cheap Motorola phone. It doesn't take very good quality pictures, but the color is way better than my Samsung. Wish that Samsung would take some pointers or some ideas from some other companies. They have good cameras, but their color science is absolutely terrible. Alright, I need to get this show on the road. I didn't have to unpack quite as much because I didn't use my chair, but it's not a huge difference, but it does take a little bit less time to pack up, I guess. Anyway, I'm glad I came up here. Definitely worth the effort. Guess I'll show a quick pan around or whatever. Pretty nice view, like every direction. Yeah, I'm gonna head out, so thanks for joining me. I'm glad I was able to get out today and do some Bible readings. I'll slowly but surely get the edited cut chapters and stuff uploaded on YouTube and whatnot, but it's going to take a long time because of the YouTube limitations and other factors. It just takes a while. So anyway, I will catch you all next time. Have a good week.